Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia and welcome to yet another report on Niger. For those that have not known what is happening in Niger, I highly recommend you to check out the playlist on the new Niger crisis, all from the way from the beginning. It's not really that long, maybe just 2 hours of watching, you will get to know the whole story. So we're just going to continue from where we left off previously. And the latest biggest news I would say is that Niger, Burkina Faso and Mali has officially formed a military pact. So they are now military allies, like for real. This time around, this is officialized. And the three foreign ministers from these three countries has made a joint announcement in Niamey, in Niger's capital. And so far, they have authorized Mali and Burkina Faso to intervene into Niger territory if Niger is attacked, and this also allows Mali and Burkina Faso to provide military assistance in case of any military interventions against the military junta. So the similar agreements between Burkina Faso and Mali had already existed, so this is actually an expansion of what they have. So I'm not sure if Burkina Faso and Mali is invaded, would Niger go to war? This one I'm not sure, because in the article by DW, a German news agency, basically just says that this is basically only says about Burkina Faso and Mali entering Niger, didn't talk about the other way around. So another interesting information that came out in the media space is that African Union had actually pondered. They are still studying. It's not decided yet, but they are actually studying whether to do military intervention in Niger. So this is on top of what ECOWAS has already been planning. The ECOWAS is the Economic Community of West African States. In case you are not you're new to this, and basically they are still studying, but they currently cannot make a decision because there are a lot of division in terms of the opinions about taking military action against Niger. So the article say that by tradition they have to make a decision by consensus, and the member have to first investigate the impact of such a deployment before they can make any decisions. So if for those that are hoping for African Union to get into Niger to get rid of the junta, you probably have to wait for a bit longer. So another interesting development is the Russian deputy defense minister actually visited Libya. So and then there's this Libyan House of Representative member, Amar El-Ablaj, basically wrote a press statement claiming that the Russian deputy defense minister's aim in visiting Libya is actually to support the military coup in Niger by confronting the forces of ECOWAS, as well as providing aid. Let me see what's the aid they talk about. I didn't copy and paste any of this. Basically to support the coup, so maybe by military, by supplies or whatever. But this is very out of place. This is also not widely reported at all. This is by libyaobserver.ly, and it was only propagated by another media called, I think, BNN or something. So I only saw two media outlets talking about this. No one else talks about this. So this is a very out of place and a very obscure piece of news. So as a result, because it sounds so ridiculous, because for a House of Representative member to just reveal state secrets, because this kind of agreements or the negotiation are state secrets, typically it will be listed even as top secret in classifications. So I don't this you have to take this with a massive pinch of salt, but because it just doesn't sound correct, or it doesn't sound normal, especially for a representative to actually release a press statement about something like this is very out of place. So anyway, we all know that Niger's one of the biggest export is to France in terms of uranium. And so the Kazakhstan is taking this opportunity to to make more money. So they tell EU that they are prepared to ship more uranium to Europe if they feel like they need they need more supplies due to the situation in Niger. So the CEO of Kazatomprom, Yezan Mukhanov, say that his firm is of course ready to increase export of nuclear fuel to the bloc. So this is probably a huge relief, I would guess, to EU, especially to France, if they really need more uranium. So something to note that this is actually happening, and Kazakhstan has been playing both sides a lot more than they should. So let's see how this goes, or maybe this is just another trap, by Russia, that they entrap themselves to depend on Kazakhstan's export, and then after that Kazakhstan can squeeze them. We don't know. Or maybe Kazakhstan is simply selling Russian uranium to EU, just to bypass the sanctions. I'm not sure. This is just interesting. So the one of the biggest news over the past few days is actually Niger expelling the French ambassador. So this is the ambassador. This ambassador is called Sylvain Lit. I don't know how to pronounce this. Ether. So basically, he was given the order by the junta that he had 48 hours to leave the country, and this expulsion of this ambassador, this French ambassador, is because he refused to meet with the foreign minister of Niger. And this foreign minister, of course, is appointed by the junta. So that's why, because France's position, official position, is that this junta's actions is illegal. The government appointed by this junta is not legitimate, so they don't want to meet them. They refuse to recognize them. So as a result, the Niger's position is, since you're not going to meet my foreign minister, then you shouldn't be in the country. So so they say that this action by the French government contrary to Niger's interest, or Niger's junta's interest. However, then we have rumors, the next day of going around, it went viral, about Niger actually expelling not just the French ambassador, but also the German, the US, and the Nigerians. And that also surprised me, because when I saw this on Twitter, I was like, what? Then after that, it was when, as I dig deeper, then I realized that this is actually incorrect. These are fake news, fake information, probably to stir up reaction against the Niger government. So the Niger ministry, basically they dismissed the circulated reports about German, US, and Nigerian ambassadors to be expelled. They say only the French ambassador is declared persona non grata. So basically, yeah, he have to leave. And so the French basically maintain their position. They say that this government currently in Niger is not legitimate, so they have no rights to eject their ambassador. They have no legitimacy to make such a demand. They say that the ambassador's appointment and presence is solely under the jurisdiction of the duly elected and legitimate authorities of Niger, basically referring to the previous government. And they say that these putschists do not have the authority to make such a request. So so we do have the Niger government basically saying that Niger does not need authorization or interpretation of the Vienna Convention of the 1961 to order the ambassador's expulsion within 24 hours. So this is actually the standoff. And so what the ambassador do? He had to stay in Niger because Macron says so. Macron ordered him to stay and remain at his post. So yeah, so being the ambassador of Niger, you have this FML feeling, I'm quite sure. So in case you don't know what is FML, is fuck my life. So basically the the ambassador, the president basically say that in a meeting with all his ambassadors, he condemned the junta and insisted that France is not the enemy of Niger, and he also dismissed the concern about standing up against the junta is dangerous. Clearly, he don't think that it is dangerous because he is not the ambassador to Niger. So after that, 48 hours has passed, and the ambassador of France is still in Niger and still in the embassy. So what the junta do? They cut off food, electricity, and water supply to the French embassy. So the French embassy is in the capital city of Niamey, and so now food deliveries are not allowed to the embassy. And they also done the similar actions against the French consulate in other cities in the country, in Zinder, Tera, Walam, Oyorowo, Dosso, Miami, and Filingue. So basically, this according to the Turkish news. So basically, all French consulate and embassies are now denied water and food and electricity as well. So I'm not sure how they're going to do their work. And the president of the national, sorry, I was reading and make sure that I didn't read it wrong. So there's the president of the National Support Committee. I'm not exactly sure what is this organization is. Basically asked the vendors to all the French bases in Niger to also suspend supply of water, fuel, and electricity as well as food to all French bases. So this is actually escalating. This is getting worse and worse. So far, we do not have any news just yet of what's the reaction from the French side, but this is definitely slowly accumulating into some kind of confrontation very, very soon at this rate. And we move away from the French. We go towards the negotiation between the ECOWAS and Niger. So basically, the ECOWAS position, as I mentioned previously, is unacceptable. The 3-year plan, they see it as just an excuse to drag on this entire saga. And so according to the ECOWAS, they say that among the belief that this is too many coups in the region, and they feel like this is going to have a domino effect. You will know at the end of the video. So basically, they are not going to engage in long drawn out haggling with these military officers, because they tried it in Mali, they tried it in Burkina Faso, it did not work. So that's why they're going to try to do something different, as if they can actually do anything different other than going to war, to be honest. Algeria is interesting. So Algeria have largely not been part of this entire picture, but they are very, very involved, in the sense that Algeria is just next to Niger, and they have a very, very long border together. And the security situation in Niger is definitely going to have a huge impact on Algeria. They already have a big problem with Libya next door. So and they have a confrontation with Morocco. So things are, as they are surrounded by a lot of problems. So the Algerian foreign minister, Secretary General Lounes Magramane, basically visits Niger to talk. This comes after the foreign minister himself, Ahmed Attaf, has been touring West African countries to find a solution about Niger. And in the series of meetings and everything, and he basically say that as per what the president of Algeria said, that is a direct threat to Algeria, and there is no solutions without the Algerians. So because they say that they will be the first people to be affected by anything that happens in Niger. So after the meeting, the foreign minister proposed, so this is the foreign minister, he proposed that for Niger, give them 6 months. So that's what Algeria is now proposing. So the Niger Junta say that they need 3 years. So Algeria now counter propose, say 6 months. He gave basically a framework after visiting the various ECOWAS countries, and basically it says that he proposed a half-year transitional phase, and which he believed that can restore the constitutional and democratic order in the country, and they feel like this can be accomplished in 6 months, so that the coup does not become fait accompli. Which basically means like it is, you just have to accept without without any other choice. So they feel like this is a good plan, and this will have a political arrangement that can be they say that this transitional plan will allow them to have a political arrangement that every party in Niger, without excluding anyone, can accept, something that they can accept. And so the process should be overseen by a civilian power led by a consensus figure, but it's unclear who this kind of person would be. So, and over at ECOWAS itself is very interesting. The negotiation mission leader who returned to Nigeria basically have submitted his report to Tinubu, the president of ECOWAS and Nigeria, basically confirming that Niger Junta actually have no interest to go to war. They really do not want to go to war. This peace mission leader is very positive. He said that the visit is very fruitful, and they feel like this has opened up an avenue to talk, and hopefully they can get to somewhere. And they say that the junta made their own points. They have also made their own points in the viewpoint of ECOWAS. So now he makes his report to the chairman of ECOWAS, and so hopefully this get to somewhere. That's basically his plan. Tinubu is very interesting. He said that because there's a lot of criticism about ECOWAS not moving, or ECOWAS is moving, a lot of things. And Tinubu basically came out with a statement. He says that he is actually at the very forefront of trying to find a peaceful solution to the situation in Niger. And he said that there is a lot of hawkish individuals that urge earlier interventions. So he claims he's managing a very serious situation. And if you take ECOWAS apart, there are people, he didn't specify who, that is outside of their control, and these people are the people that he's now currently holding back. He's also the one holding back ECOWAS from taking military action. He says that even at the morning, as per this interview, there's constant phone calls calling him from various parties asking about the readiness of the countries and their military and their contribution. And but this great Nigerian president and the leader of ECOWAS says, wait, we need to wait for the result of these peace negotiations and these religious leaders, and then they will get back to him. So he is the one that is holding back the ECOWAS military from going to war. And he continues to make a point that this negotiation have to continue. And he told this Islamic delegation that managed to successfully meet the leaders of the junta to go back again. So he wants them to go back to Niger again. He says that they need to go and talk and make sure that this junta are accountable for the people of Niger. And the point is that these people cannot use their guns to turn it against the people of the country, which makes no sense to me. But basically, he said that ECOWAS will continue their commitment towards diplomatically engage with all parties and seek a peaceful solution. And he said he will draw the line in the sand and ask this delegation to go back to Niger immediately. So, and immediately they went, and then they met. And then there's now the entire full list of demands is even clearer. So the chieftain of the ruling All Progressive Congress, after meeting the Niger Junta, I think this is the photo of the meeting. Basically, was told by the junta that getting the previous president Bazoum back into power is no go. This is absolutely a no-no. So the junta basically told ECOWAS that focus on the other things. Don't focus on Bazoum. Focus on the life of the people of Niger, and avoid the topic about returning Bazoum to power entirely. So they insist that. So the junta say that we can discuss about anything. Anything we can talk about freely, except about bringing back Bazoum back to power, because it won't work. That's the position of the junta. So, and the junta also requests ECOWAS to reopen the border so that food, drugs, and other essential commodities can enter the country, because they say that even during war situation, food, drugs, and essential items are always allowed to enter a troubled country. And so now they are not even at war. So this closure of the border is not fair. Basically, that's the case. And they also request the Nigerian government to restore electricity, so that they can resume social economic activities. So basically, these are very standard demands, very, very basic demands. Reopen the border, don't talk about Bazoum returning to power, and that's about it. They can talk about anything else. So pretty I would say, little demands. There's hardly much demands, to put it that way. So within Nigeria itself, there's also problems brewing. The former Kaduna state governor, basically this guy Nasir El-Rufai, basically urged the ECOWAS to give up about the military ambition, the military intervention ambition. He says that the people in the sub-region in Nigeria are the same people with the people in Niger Republic. He said that these are the same people, and they should not start a civil war between brothers. So the article is actually a lot longer. Basically, I remember reading about some of these northern Nigerian people are already being seen as Niger people. So it's like there is some kind of discriminations already starting to happen. So things are not really that good, and you can basically feel the entire situation around Niger to be really draggy, as there's a lot of forces pulling back against ECOWAS going to war, and even the president Tinubu himself, the president of Nigeria, who is the chairman of ECOWAS, basically also have to switch. Previously he was very, very bullish, very, very hawkish. He's talking about he need to punish the Niger military and whatever. He say very hardcore words. Then suddenly now he talk about he's the leader of the peace negotiation. He's the only one holding back war. And this switch in terms of the narrative is very interesting. I'm not saying there's any conclusion. Like I said, in DPA, the whole point is I give you all the facts. You make your own you make your own conclusions, and basically that's why usually I try not to give my opinions, but I would say it does feels like there's a lot of pullback, and so much so that even the president of Nigeria himself have to change his narrative. If not, he may not survive politically. And then, as I mentioned earlier about this cascading effect, as per today, as per this video, within the past 24 hours, Gabon has also have its own military coup. So they had a presidential election, and then the presidential election somehow elected back the same dictator of sort, or leader that has been in power since the president's father. And basically the military just had said they had enough, and basically had a good coup d'etat and overthrew the democratically elected president. So they cancelled the election and seized power. So this makes them the seventh African country that is now under military rule. Chad, Niger, Burkina Faso, Guinea, Sudan, and Mali. So basically everyone. And the coup happens, during the rounding off of the votes during the general elections that happened around a few days ago. And the these coup leaders basically say that the country is going through a grave political crisis due to irresponsible and unforeseeable governance that resulted in steady degradation of social cohesion that is leading the country to chaos. And clearly, up to this point, most of the people have not even heard of this country called Gabon. So this is very interesting. And I know of this country because of the eraser, those flag eraser. I used to have the flag eraser, and there's Gabon. So basically, they have decided to defend peace by putting the end of the regime in power, and this ends the reign of the president Ali Bongo, who have been in office since 2009, when he succeeded his father Omar Bongo. So basically, an empire has fallen, in essence. So interesting thing is that the capital of Gabon is Libreville. Libre is, if I'm not wrong, freedom. The meaning of it is freedom. So Freedomville have freedom now. So let's see whether this freedom is true freedom or is just a false freedom. But this Gabon is yet another French-speaking country. So this is just an expansion of the problems facing France. How the hell France managed to screw things up to the point where basically every single French influence or country, countries under the French influence or umbrella, is all going rogue. We have Gabon, Chad, Niger, Mali, Burkina Faso, Guinea. Oh my freaking god, everyone, man. So when will it be? Do you think there will be more coup to come? Maybe in Cote d'Ivoire, Ghana, Togo, Benin, Nigeria? We do not know, man. So things are looking really tricky, tentatively in Africa. And I want to say I'm not surprised by such thing, but I'm still get surprised by it. So anyway, thank you for watching. Hopefully you are now updated of the situation in Niger. In short, Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger have officially formed a military pact, and they are now former military allies. So basically, attack on one is attack on all. So this is going to make any invasion into Niger even more tricky. And ECOWAS is not ready for war, for sure. And Nigeria is now putting diplomacy first, as they continue to talk more with Niger, and Algeria is trying to broker a peace deal that allows a transition instead of 3 years that is proposed by the Niger Junta, but back to just 6 months, which I think is a bit fast, but could work if the Niger Junta is really sincere about returning power to the civilians. And yeah, and also other news like Kazakhstan want to take advantage, and also the ambassador situation where he will now not be able to flush the toilet. I think this is going to be quite a disaster because the embassy is going to stink. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next update.